Hey, what's up, everyone? Thank you for tuning back into Some Sustainables Presents the Olive Branch. I know you probably saw the title of this video and probably had a couple of questions, but I promise this is not what you think this is. Well, not necessarily. On today's video, I'm going to talk to you about the importance of taking a leap of faith. Let's enlighten up. Okay, so I did a quick Google search of the meaning green cheese. And I came to conclusion that it is actually a synonym for the meaning of taking a leap of faith, or another way to say I'm taking a leap of faith. Realistically, I've never heard no one say, yeah, man, I'm gonna go ahead and take a slice of green cheese. I've never heard no one do that before, but that sparked an idea, and that's what we're gonna talk about today. I'm telling you guys, I was blown away when I saw the connection between the two. I'm telling you, I've never heard no one use green cheese in relation to taking a leap of faith. Like, hey man, how you been? How you doing? Oh, well, you know me. I'm doing good. I'm just eating this green cheese. I'm literally giving you guys the thought process that I had for about 48 hours. I was stuck on this phrase. This phrase, green cheese, even took me down memory lane. And then that's when it all came to me. So I'm going to take you to third grade really quick. Back in third grade, we had a science project. And if I'm not mistaken, from my memory, if my memory is serving me correctly, we would have subjects separated in certain segments throughout the day. So, there's math, there's English, whatever, science. Science was one of our subjects that we was tackling on this particular day. And we had a project. The project was studying fermentation or mold. And there were certain items that we had to observe. I was a part of the group that had cheese. And we had to observe the cheese for about, I think it was 10 to 15 days. It's crazy. Maybe even longer. I don't know. 30 days? I don't know. But I know it was a certain amount of time. And we had to record our observations. And then at the end of the experiment, our group, we had to present our observations to the class. So, as I said before, I was a part of the cheese group. We studied the cheese every day. I would write in my little observation book, what did I notice? And I would see things that was different. Like I saw green spots, I saw black spots, because we had to make sure that this particular item was in an unfamiliar area. So it's not in a cool place like it's supposed to be, like your refrigerator. It's in front of it's on a windowsill in front of the sun all day. So we had to record what's going on. Of course, the cheese was melting and you saw the mold and the blackness. It was crazy throughout certain times. It was one day, I won't forget, it was one day that I literally smelt my third grade classroom all the way down the hall. I was literally intimidated. I did not want to go into that classroom because I knew that whatever I was about to observe that day was different than previous days. I'm talking about during that time I was nervous. I'm talking about my hands were shaking to write what I was observing because I was fascinated but also a little fearful at what I was discovering. I'd never seen it before. Never seen anything like that before. That was my first time. But I was also fascinated, about that. And I knew that I had to keep going in order to get a good grade. And I knew I had to keep going in order to present my thoughts to the class. I walked in that classroom and I took those notes. And my group and I presented. We had a pretty good presentation. And as soon as the teacher said we're done, I took that cheese that was in that Ziploc bag. I went outside and threw that thing to a tree or somewhere. Didn't even throw it in the trash. I was so disgusted. But that was the first time that I realized that I did something I didn't want to do in order to get something that I know I needed. That was taking a leap of faith, literally through the observation of green cheese. It took me a while, but I finally made that connection between green cheese and taking a leap of faith. So enough with the green cheese. Let's now talk about taking that leap of faith. So in my adult life currently, there was a time where I was uncertain about the future or just what was up next. After I graduated college, of course, new graduates, they go through a period of figuring out what they need to do, finding a certain job, getting some money, contributing to the household if you go back to your relatives, if you have that luxury, or if you're on your own, you got to make ends meet. You got to do what you got to do. Welcome to the real world. Responsibilities, right? So it was a certain time in my life where I knew I had to bring in some income in order to do what I have to do responsibly. But I knew that I wasn't 100% satisfied with what I was doing. I graduated with a landscape architecture bachelor's and graduated from college to go outside and lay out some mulch and get my hands dirty, literally. Now, I had no shame in my game. You got to do what you got to do. And that's exactly what I did from sun up to sundown every day. Didn't mind me none. But I knew this is where I did not want to stay. I also had it in my mind that it was a starting point. So the uncertainty came with me being uncomfortable. Remember that story of me I couldn't walk down the hallway because it was smelling so bad that I was uncomfortable even stepping in the classroom. I was a little bit nervous. Well, fast forwarding to your adult life, to a similar situation as such, when you're in a position that makes you uncomfortable, that means one or two things. You're either going to take a leap of faith or you're going to quit. In reality, no one wants to quit. No one wants to feel like a failure. No one wants to stop whatever they're doing and to pick up something else without completing a certain task. You don't want to feel that way because you're still going to feel incomplete. You're still going to feel uncomfortable. It's like you're just racking up debt on top of debt on top. Like, it's a never-ending story. So that goes back into taking a leap of faith. It was one day, I remember like it was yesterday. It was one day where I was helping outside crew and was laying out mulch. I'm talking about it was like 26 degrees in the morning, early. I was at a huge estate, huge property. We had to lay out mulch all day at this person's place. Great experience, humbling experience. But that was the first time that I actually was like, look, I'm really uncomfortable, to the point where I really need to know what am I going to do. So after that day ended, I went home and I did a lot of research to the point where it literally took me all the way into the weekend. I prepared all the necessary documents that I needed to have. I made all the necessary phone calls in order to get some type of reference or good leverage for me to get a good word in switching positions or pivoting whatever I was doing. And I decided to do something completely different. So at that time, I was actually accepted into a graduate school program, and I was looking forward to that. But I guess humbling times could result into doing things that could set you up for the future, that could set you up for your longevity, right? So I kept researching what my graduate degree, what profession could that expose me to. So I just connected my bachelor's and my proposed graduates, right? Both of those degrees, and I looked at similar professions, and I came across a position within the state that I live in. And it was for a local governmental type of organization, and a nice salary. I sent my resume and I went back to work the next day or that following Monday. I'm telling you, it only took 48 hours. Someone called me back. It was almost like it was meant for them to call me back. They were like, hey, look, let's meet Friday. You come to me and yeah, we'll have an interview and blah, 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 blah. And things were just happening so fast. And then the following Monday was the first day of my graduate school program. So I was like, yo, what is happening? What is happening? I was solid the whole ride. Yep, I'll be there. I went there, presented myself well, and I got the job. I elevated from hourly to, from hourly to salary. Literally from bringing in hundreds to thousands, because I was uncomfortable, because I knew that it was something that I needed to do in order to better myself. I don't know what was next. I didn't know how I was going to manifest throughout this next journey in my life, but I did know that it was something that I needed to do in order to enjoy the foreseeable future, you know, after grad school, all of that. So lo and behold, I actually did a pretty good job with that job. I was actually one of the best people, and it was just because of me, who I am, my intelligence, the way that I am, my charisma, how I am with people. It was me that got me the job. It wasn't my skills. It wasn't what I could do. It had nothing to do with that. It was what I could bring, and I brought just that. I would have never known that if I just quit and racked up those uncomfortable feelings and complained about every certain thing that I wasn't familiar with, or stepped away from that classroom and scared to go into a classroom to get a grade because of a project. You know, it's the same thing. Can't be scared to make moves that could benefit your future. Look, I don't really know who this message is actually for, but I can tell you that when you have the ability to take a leap of faith, you know when you need to pivot, or you know when you need to change things up. You have that ability, and recognizing that within yourself, that is how you sustain a sustainable lifestyle, because you'll always plan for it. You can plan for a leap. All you got to do is just take initiative. Seriously. Just take that first step into saying, hey, look, okay, you don't know what's next, but it could either benefit your longevity or immediately benefit you. Only you would know. So I say all of that to say, hey, look, don't be afraid to take a bite of that green cheese. Hey, look, y'all, please like and subscribe to this channel and join me next time as we talk about our next topic. It's time to enlighten ourselves. Let's enlighten up. Once again, my name is Tony, and this is Some Sustainables Presents The Olive Branch. Peace.